exactly 56 past 3 o'clock here on the 3FM Drive. I guess already seated. He's been here like, 30 minutes ago. So we want to kickstart the conversation. And yes, Ernest Owusu-Bempah Bonsu, Deputy Communications Director of the NPP, and also Head of Corporate Communications of Ghana Gas, is here with us. The man who says he's bold, he's principled, he's truthful, he's loyal, and also very selfless. And I'm sure this reflects on a lot of things he says online and on platforms we hear and see him do his thing. When you see him in person, you would see that this is a man who is from a very humble beginning, a humble background, free for all kind of mentality. With the bag boost, now you collect, everybody goes home happy. But we also want to tap into his life beyond politics and all that. Of course, congratulations on his many achievements in the corporate communication space. And we'll get into all that bit by bit. But join the conversation on social media, 3FM 92.7. The man is a hip-hop head as well. So he says his all-time favorite is Tupac's All Eyes on Me. Do you go word for word? Do you rap along as well? And all that?
I used to during my youthful days, but now I've forgotten some of the words, I used to, yes. I used to be an ardent Tupac fan.
Really?
Yes, I used to recite all these, hit 'em up, All Eyes on Me, Gangster's Paradise, the other one and all that. Yes,
But you're still a very young man.
But when I was in the early days in England.
That's right.
So around 19-20 days. I was a hip hop fan.
Interesting.
Serious hip hop fan. Yes.
But you still love your Daddy Lumba?
Yes, Daddy Lumba. Any day, any second, even if it costs. My mom loves Daddy Lumba. My sisters love Daddy Lumba. So I grew up around that kind of music.
That's right.
So Daddy Lumba is my favorite.
Let's get into your journey, your background. A little bit of that will help. How was life like for you growing up and where?
Actually, Owusu-Bempah is a simple man. I grew up in Kumasi. Typical Asante man, typical Kumasiano.
Allah. American.
Yes, Ashtown to be precise, and Amokom, Kumasi.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yes.
Nobody can show you.
That's where we grew up. Attended primary school at New Amokom, primary and GSS. From there, I attended Prempeh College.
Sharp.
And then from there, I came to Ghana Institute of Journalism. And then to Clarendon College in Nottingham.
That's right.
And then came back to do another master's in Ghana Institute of Journalism. And here I am.
That's right.
Joined politics.
How did politics find you? Because you didn't do that at GIJ.
It's a long journey, so you have to. My story doesn't start like you need to ask me the question and serialize it because it's a lot.
Okay.
I have a lot. I need to write a book. Sometimes when I tell my story, people tell me, "Yo, why don't you write a book?" I say, "Yes, because I have stages to tell my story."
Take us to one of those stages.
Well, where do I start? Maybe primary school or. You're surprised that Woon to me is my junior in Prempeh College.
Really?
So
you're confirming that he
He was in Prempeh College, but he was a truant guy. He was a truant.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it was one of those.
No, he went to Prempeh College, yes.
Chairman Woon to me?
Yes, he was my junior at Prempeh College, yes. 1 year behind me. And he was actually, we grew up in the same area in Kumasi. We used to play football together. We used to move around together a lot. So he's a very a guy that I've known for over 30 years.
Wow. What's something we don't know about him? We only get to see the other side he shows online.
He's been like that. He's been a bully. From beginning, he has always been a bully.
Street mate.
Yes, street guy, straight up. We all like that. We grew up in Kumasi, Ashtown, grew up in Kumasi, Amokom, and you don't know how to manage yourself, air-tron, then I don't know what it is. You grew up in KJB.
Yes.
KJB, the zone said Dadabi area. KJB, Dadabi area. And KJB Central Primary and JSS, that place.
Hey, you have my feeling like
that. So and you always close to your sister, Elom. So we know.
Wow, you have my background. My only sister, actually. That's beautiful to know. Okay.
I know a lot about you. I can tell you about your mom and everything.
Really?
Everything about you.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. But you know, my record is clean.
Well, it depends. Some of the things I can't say it here because my hands are...
My record is clean. It's
I please
clean.
my hands. I can't say it here.
But again, growing up and all that your childhood taught you, how does that reflect the current you, the current Ernest Owusu-Bempah Bonsu that we get to see and people get to admire?
It's a different thing altogether because my mom was a teacher. My mom was a retired teacher, and my stepdad is also a retired teacher. So you can imagine.
Wow.
Even though you grew up around area where you go out there, you have your own tough. You have to be tough on the street. But when you come home, the discipline is there, and you have to follow strict rules and regulations in the house, and adhere to the values and all that. So basically, it was one of the things that we learned from home. So we were in a tale of two cities. You go on the street, it's different. When you come to the house, it's totally different. You have to be disciplined and learn the values of life and be able to know how you're going to move around and do all that. When you come back from the street, going to play football and coming back, it's all about learning and reading graphic and reading my Facebook story and all
and this
that.
One you read aloud for them to hear.
You read, and you do your homework before you go to sleep.
Did you have influences then?
Of course. That's why.
Key figures you were looking up to beyond your parents.
Yes, I've always looked up to Nelson Mandela as somebody who was a great guy to me. I looked up to him, and then those days when we were growing up, I liked U.S. President Bill Clinton.
That's right.
Because those days were the time that we used to watch TV. CNN was new.
That's right.
On TV, so every time we switch on the TV, you see all those guys on TV, and I liked Clinton for his leadership qualities that he exhibited at that time. And we used to recite all those leaders in the annals of geopolitics. You have to know. You have to know the ministers, Rawlings ministers, current affairs. You need to know about Colin Powell. You need to know about James Baker, Secretary of State, and all that. So I was learning it from the beginning. And
So how did politics find you?
Well, I think I would say that maybe the former First Lady, Nana Kunedu-Adjumah Rawlings, actually dragged me into politics. I was at the wrong place at the right time. She dragged me into politics. I was working with her as a PR journalist, media person when I'd come from the UK.
Oh, okay.
And then she actually was trying to let me go into the interviews that she normally do with the radio station, the TV stations. And there was a time that I was asked to go and speak on an issue to do with one of the things that she has said on radio. And then that was it. Everybody started hearing about me, and I was dragged into the mainstream Ghanaian politics. And well, that's how it happened.
How many years ago?
Oh, it was, I think, 2010, thereabout. 2010. Wow. 2010, yes, 2010, when she was the Fonka Games,
That's right.
Games between the former First Lady and then President Mills.
That's right.
So that was where
you were more like the spokesperson.
Yes, I was out doing the PR work and all that.
You were never tempted to branch to, say, the NDC? Because then you were considered a cousin of the NDC.
A lot of people say that, I was not a card-bearing member of the NDC, but I was just working with the former First Lady.
Okay.
And I was working with the former First Family at that time, and I was with them during the Fonka Games and all that. So I wasn't actually a card-bearing member of the NDC.
Oh, okay. So how did the MPP find you? Or how did you connect with the MPP?
That's what I'm saying. That the story is...
There are stages.
You need because the way you are asking my question, you are cutting page 1 to page 10. And it's making it a bit,
I understand. But I just want us to see what we can do in an hour.
But
for that book you're talking about, we'll need like a week to...
Yes. Because there was a lot of agitations, when we were in... during the days when the former First Lady broke away from the NDC and formed the NDP. I was the communication director, actually the only person who has been with the various political parties. I was the communication director for the NDP, and then from there we had various agitations at that time. I was member of the Let My Vote Count Alliance, one of the key leading figures of the Let My Vote Count Alliance. I was a member of the AFAG group, and then also a member of a committee for joint. There's another one that Ken Crunchy was leading. I've forgotten that one. I was also a member. And so various demonstrations were seen eye to eye, making sure that we deal with the system, make sure that what was going on at that time was not right. So we're dealing with it. So basically, from there, I was working closely with key figures within the New Patriotic Party.
Even then?
At that time, yes. And, you know, from where I come from, family, my uncles, my mother, my family, my dad, and all those family members are all MPP.
Oh, okay.
For the fact I grew up in an NPP family, my uncle, my father's first cousin is the late Giovani.
Oh, wow.
Of blessed memory. And then,
I think he's still one of the people define him as that perfect politician.
Yes. Giovani. And then my uncle was the MPP chairman for Asante Achimnof, Nana Dua Sabre.
Okay.
And then, well, all my family members were sympathizers of the MPP. My uncle, Nana African, I grew up around him. He's also one of the founding fathers of the MPP in Greater Accra region and Okankwe.
Okay.
So basically, that is how it got to a level where I was seen working with the MPP, and then eventually I metamorphosed into a member of the MPP, and then became a deputy communication director of the party.
How did your former boss feel about that? How did she feel?
I mean, every individual. My former boss has a daughter who is a NDC, and then one is NDP, and herself is an NDP, and then the founder was an NDC. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Was the party formed to spite? Of course, you've long moved from that position. But was it a discussion or conversation that, okay, guys, we wanted to clean up the party, we want to win power. Yes, let's try and see what they would do.
You were talking about the NDP.
The NDP then.
Yes, I mean, the woman was at that time really wanted to do something. You don't know that at that time, President Mills was contesting for an election. We heard a sniffle of information that he actually told the former First Lady that he was going to go for one term, and that he will allow her to go for the next term when he wins. And eventually, when they got power, the whole narrative changed. And then it became something that the woman felt that she has something to give to the ordinary Ghanaian people. So basically, she was ready and poised to fight. And there was a lot of things that was not going on well at that time, that she thought that she wanted to fight the system and get it right.
All right.
So don't forget that Funka was a splitter group within a political party that was in government at that time. And then you see there's agitation within the political party told there was something else. So that was what happened.
All right, let's get into, well, your transitioning, your political role within the NPP, and also your day-to-day role as a lead party communications director. Run us through. What do you do on a typical day? What does your job?
Well, so you want to know how?
Yes, a deputy communication director of the NPP.
Your job is to support your boss, the communication director, to execute the communication strategy and plan for the party. And that's basically
looks like a full-time job. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Something you are combining.
We execute communication strategy. We go out with plans on how the party's image and strategy, and how we are going to project the image, the works of government, party thing, and anything to do with communication, PR work of the government or the party.
Okay.
Put together, executed through the media or various forms of communication. I mean, going out there, designing a strategy, and going out there, helping your people to make sure that the plan gets into the targeted audience. And that's what we do. Basically, going around there, checking on the media, profiling people like you, how whatever you're saying on radio, we have to have a way of dealing with it. And actually, my strength is the area of doing what we call the pure PR work.
Okay.
On radio, you can't say certain things on radio, but there are certain things that we do behind the scenes that is very, very important to project the image of your own party.
So you have people, you have a whole team that's on standby to monitor
we have
all
teams,
the things happening on
we have teams
radio.
working. We have a lot of people doing a lot, and then we have party communicators going on radio, and then monitoring all events and everything that is going on. You have to be fully aware and fully abreast and support the communication director to execute. It's also about dealing with the media behind the scenes, people like you.
What's your assessment of us? You keep talking about people like me. What's your assessment? Genuine assessment of what you've seen so
Genuine
far?
assessment of TV3.
Well, TV3, it's an arm of Media General.
Yeah,
so I meant Media General.
I was one of the pioneers of TV3.
Interesting.
Broadcast journalist. You didn't do your research on me.
Wow.
I was one of them when I was in Ghana Institute of Journalism. We worked here when the Malaysians were working at TV3, when they were the owners of TV3 at that time. Those days in 1999, 2000, when I was in School of Journalism.
Nice.
That is where I worked here as a broadcast journalist, and I did a lot here. So now it's becoming apolitical a little bit, because TV3 those days was one of the media houses that a lot of people were looking up to in terms of the representation of neutrality and bringing out objective truth, the balanced story and all that. Today, a lot of people have meanings into it. I mean, I don't care about that, because when you go to other countries, people have the Fox FM, the Fox News,
Sky,
and other news. They also have their own way of presenting their story to suit a particular candidate.
Narrative.
But the point is that we need to be circumspect in our reportage, in whatever we deliver. And I think that I see doing a lot of, you guys are doing professional job, but a lot also need to be done in terms of those other people who are also working in the media space, in Media General.
All right. If you're to score us over 10, with all you've mentioned so far.
Over 10, it depends. I don't listen to
all the shows.
So I can't give you a percentage on that.
That's fair.
If I do that, I'll be making a terrible mistake.
I understand.
Yes.
But yes, we're in an election year. The heat is on. So far, so good, wouldn't you say?
Yes, so far, so good.
With getting your message across to the people.
So far, so good. Because Ghanaians are buying into our message, which is a policy program that unprecedented in the history of Ghanaian politics, Fourth Republic. A political party presidential candidate stood on a platform and told Ghanaians that if you give me the mandate, I will make sure every Ghanaian child will have access to free SHS. It has never happened in the history of Ghana politics, where many politicians will come and stand on the platform and tell people, electorates, that will do this, and eventually they cannot do it. Free SHS is there for people to see. Today, over 5.2 million Ghanaians have access to free education, and it's going to be a beginning of a transformation into the future. And that is a great thing that I feel proud to be part of this success story in the annals of Ghanaian politics. Right. And I'm very, very happy and proud to support Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to achieve this feat in Ghanaian politics. And Dr. Bawumia as well.
All right, I was going to ask that.
Yes.
With all you've mentioned so far, I'm sure if we were to ask you to score your current government, I'm sure you would have done what you just did.
Yes,
like
of course.
Yes, but would you also say that you've faced some crazy challenges?
Of course, challenges.
Yes.
That's where Ghanaians should even be sympathetic to us, because since 1935 Great Depression, there has never been a catastrophic incident in the history of the world than COVID-19. Go and check the Great Depression that happened in 1935, where the whole world economy crumbled. Crude oil price shot up to $100 per barrel. And you're talking about COVID-19. After COVID-19, immediately when we're coming out of COVID-19, the Russian-Ukraine war hit. And this, fortunately, unfortunately, we have leadership Dr. Bawumia Akufo-Addo administration was able to steer the ordinary Ghanaian out of it. These are serious challenges.
But at what cost? That's what people are asking. At what cost?
What cost? I mean, what are they saying in terms of what you say?
At what cost? I mean, for how long would we continue to pay for COVID-19 in ways that the average Ghanaian...
What are we paying for? I don't know what...
No, I'm talking about even, tax and all those things. I mean, when during the pandemic proper, people had a lot of hope, faith in leadership. And yes, you admitted here.
But have you also asked yourself that the ordinary Ghanaian worker, the civil servant, some of them sat at home for 2 years, free pay, free electricity, everything was free.
So
other countries could not do that.
So you mean these are all recovery plans?
Well, we know. That's why President Akufo-Addo said that he knows how to bring back the Ghanaian economy, but he doesn't know how to bring back lives. And he was able to protect the ordinary Ghanaian life. And that is what is precious. Today, if you are alive, out of COVID-19, a lot of people, millions died in America, developed countries, London, Germany, people died. But today, how many Ghanaians lost their lives? A few of them, because we had a leadership that was well, strategic and were able to protect the ordinary Ghanaian people from this pandemic.
What? I have a question on some of the issues you have raised earlier, and also I've got lots of questions here on some of your pointers in the manifesto, people on the clarification here and there, and all that.
I would love to see that.
We'll get into that conversation as well. So Giovani, please, my question is simple. Ask him why we are still paying E-levy. Okay. And another one here. The E-levy. And I want to hear this from you, Ernest Owusu-Bempah Bonsu. Do you think the E-levy was a failed experiment? Honestly.
If you ask me, it was just jaundiced political agitation from the opposition that crumbled the whole thing.
Really?
But it would have been a good thing for the ordinary people. Any country, you go to the United Kingdom, I know you've been there before. They don't produce anything. When you walk from South London to North London, you will pay. I remember when I was in London, we have a mayor of London called Ken Livingstone, and he came out with congestion charges. He got up in the morning and said, those who are traveling, commuting from North London to South London will pay congestion charge. There was so much congestion from north to south. When you are driving from Elephant and Castle, crossing the Thames to Camberwell Green, you see the number of traffic in West End. Terrible. He came out with congestion charges and people were paying. Why is it that we live in a country where when we talk about taxation, we try to refrain from it, and we also turn around blaming government for not doing the right thing and not giving? The government cannot provide anything that we look for, everything. So we look up to these petty levies that also help in nation building. And I thought that E-levy was nothing that was a bad idea, if you ask me honestly. But the way the politicians, opposition poo-pooed it was something that got into the minds of
what I'm trying to say is it was still implemented anyway. And I think we're giving too much credit to the opposition because they don't have such powers
to
prevent something like that. The E-levy came on anyway,
don't forget,
even though they voted against
that
it.
In Parliament, we had equal number.
Yes.
If you had a group that was majority in Parliament, we would have an easy sail through to make sure that we implement the E-levy to get to the benefit of the ordinary.
No, but what I mean is it's still in full force.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
With the benefits you projected, your government projected, even before the implementation, the approval and all that,
but
do you think it's been worth it? Per your own estimation.
No, the thing is that, collecting taxes, and not everybody actually get to pay the amount that, or the targeted amount that everybody want to expect to pay. And these are some of the roadblocks that you see on the way. And it's happened. So I would say that we didn't get to achieve the target that we wanted to achieve. But it wasn't a bad idea.
So E-levy was a failure?
I mean, you can say that if you think so, but I don't see that like that. I see that there were roadblocks that prevented the whole thing from getting to the full this thing.
So I know part of leadership is also taking responsibility for some of the things you probably projected, some strategies I'm sure you had even in 2019, not knowing that COVID will be in the corner, lurking somewhere. I mean, one other aspect of proper leadership anywhere is accepting responsibility.
Of course.
Do you think your party owes Ghanaians any form of apologies?
Yes.
With where we are right now, especially with our
of course. I mean,
goals?
we are a party that is very honest party, a party that thinks about the ordinary Ghanaian people, and I would take the opportunity to apologize to Ghanaians for the circumstances within which the economy is going. And I've always said that it would take any non-strategic communicator to go out there and say that everything is all well with the Ghanaian people when it comes to the economy, but it's not the fault of the government. But we are apologizing for the circumstance that we find ourselves in, and we need to continuously apologize to the ordinary Ghanaian people for what has happened. It is not the making of the government, it's the circumstances within which we find ourselves. And we must come to live with it, that there's a better day ahead of us. And we need to work towards that better days by voting for Dr. Bawumia's administration to come and deal with the situation that we are. We are coming out of COVID, we are coming out of Russia and Ukraine war. You see that the economy is bouncing back. The inflation at that time today is decreasing as we go along, and you see that the economy is getting back on track. So we all that we have to say is that Ghanaians, we apologize to them for the hardship that some of them are going through as a political party, and on behalf of my party, we apologize for that. And it's not the doing of this government, but it's the circumstance within which, unfortunate circumstance within which we find ourselves.
What is the message with the same in the same spirit? What is the message you're preaching to Ghanaians if they've entrusted you with the country, with the same we believed in, the hope you promised us before, and we're currently here? You are solidly one of the forerunners, four voices behind Dr. Bawumia. If you had the chance to speak to Ghana, the nation is listening right now, what would that message be for the average voter, but why you deserve a nod?
Of course. I mean, Giovani, you are a living witness. I don't know where you started your life in KJB. I think your mom will be proud of you today because she might probably sold her clothes to get you into secondary school. Some of the average Ghanaian.
Okay.
I'm just using you as a starting point.
Then use me as the average.
Yes, the average Ghanaian.
All right.
Parents sold their clothes to get their children to go to secondary school. The ordinary person, cocoa farmer in Ochimberry have to walk 18 miles to go to secondary school because the parents cannot afford. And today, I have a child in Agogo Asanteachi, my hometown, Brahabebomi, who was fortunate. The father is just a carpenter. And then the child is now in Achimoto school enjoying free SHS. That is an evidence enough for the ordinary Ghanaian people to consider the MPP as a viable political party to vote for. Because we have a political party, socialist political party called the NDC. And all policies that has been implemented in the history of Ghanaian politics, social intervention policy that has benefited the ordinary Ghanaians came from a capitalist political party, MPP, parties promoting socialist policies, where a socialist political party is also against every policy initiative that the MPP push across. They kicked against the free SHS, they kicked against Ghana card, they kicked against national health insurance, they kicked against all social intervention policies that we decided to give to the ordinary Ghanaian. And here we are, the ordinary Ghanaian are benefiting. Today, you can walk into KJB and you see an ambulance sitting there on standby. It tells you that MPP government deserves the nod for 2024 elections. And we are moving into a new paradigm shift. And the new paradigm shift in the world geopolitics is about digitalization. And that is where everybody is going. Ghana is going to be the leading figure in terms of pushing that agenda in Africa. And Ghana is going to be a leading figure as a country in terms of digitalization, and let's focus on that going forward.
Ernest Owusu-Bempah Bonsu is our guest on the show today on the 3FM Drive, 26 minutes past 4 p.m. And he's also the Deputy Communications Director of the NPP and corporate lead here at Ghana Gas. And this man is combining two major roles as a single individual. This job you are doing, people are saying that it's meant for 2 or 3, 4 more people. This one that you are doing alone. Are you able to make time for other things?
Well, yeah, it depends on what you are talking about. Other things.
Family, I mean.
Yes, of course. I do my family things as well. I move around and do everything.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. I've got a lot of questions here coming from our Facebook community. But before we get into that, this one says, hi, Giovani, please ask him about... okay, I didn't get the full text. Selassie Adadevo, if you can send that again. It says, please let him tell us about... the president opposed VAT vehemently. Okay. I think whilst you were raising the points about the position you faced during E-levy, he sent that message through, that by your president opposed VAT. So what exactly is he talking about? Okay. Giovani, please ask him to address some of the scandals under his party and how they tend to overturn that. And also, there've been questions around, I mean, at least 6 of them, around why Dr. Bawumia should not exclude or exempt himself from some of the things that have, or some of the ills under his government.
What are some of the ills? If you talk about the ills,
so
what are some of the ills?
Let me give you a list.
Yes,
of them. Because you are the man in charge of communication.
Yes, I want to know the ills.
So, PDS, fraudulent.
PDS, what is about PDS? There's nothing happening in PDS. What happened? Was there any corruption? Somebody was arrested for taking state money? PDS, they just propaganda. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. Messi Giovani may sign contract. Contract, president say, wait, it's not in the state interest, so let's leave it. Then OBC PDS contract. What is there? There's nothing there. Go on.
All right.
Yes, I dare anybody to come out and tell us PDS.
So this is the thing.
Comparing that to Woyome scandal, or comparing that to Airbus scandal, where a sitting president,
but
a whole
Airbus,
sitting
the same Airbus scandal that
a whole forget about the special prosecutor, a whole competent court of jurisdiction in the United Kingdom is saying that the former president took money, government official one. In fact, the Airbus company came out to say that they bribed government officials in Africa to get juicy contract. What more evidence does a special prosecutor need?
But you set up the office of the special prosecutor.
No, that's what I'm saying. He said he doesn't have evidence. He didn't say that John Mahama is innocent. He said he doesn't have evidence to prosecute or to nail John Mahama. That's what he's saying. He doesn't have, because he took over from Amidou. Don't forget. That's the dichotomy. Ghanaians are not getting it. Giovani, so tell me the scandals in our party.
So, your party?
Yes, our country. Yes.
Under your party. Okay. All right. So, Giovani, please let him talk about the Boss 5 million liter contaminated fuel deal.
What happened? There's nothing happening at Boss. 5 million contaminated, and then somebody was arrested. Propaganda. They are not true.
But you also like a lot of propaganda.
No, I'm saying this one, UK, the Sun newspaper. The Sun newspaper published the former president on the front page. You are talking about propaganda. Where is the Sun newspaper?
The Sun newspaper is a propaganda.
Oh, come on, my brother. What would I stand?
The Sun has been taken on a few times.
Come on,
you and I know this, bro. But we promise not to do politics.
The Daily Mirror,
yes,
in the UK, published the same story.
Okay,
Giovani, what are we talking about? It's a serious thing.
So in the area of health care, what are some of your major achievements? Yes, please.
We built a lot. Hospitals. I mean, Agenda 111. Some of the audacious developmental agenda in the history since independence. 101 major hospitals in the history.
And that has been contested.
Yes, people
have contested that.
What is
saying
happening?
That some of those hospitals you talked about are non-existent, or these are some old
Agenda 111. Go around the country. Giovani, I'm daring you. I will take you around the country. And you go and see. Even in your hometown, KJB, we have a polyclinic there built by the MPP. Go and check. It's there.
It is not my hometown, and we've.
That's where you grew up. That's where you grew up. That's where you grew up.
I don't want to contest you on this because that will be giving away too much. But yes, I understand.
That's why
Giovani, it's good he's mentioned free senior high school, and for me, as someone who is still not decided who to vote for, it's also another thing the NDC is also saying they would maintain. And yes, I agree with majority of the things he said on the show. So yes, I'm sure you come in contact with a lot of people who say that, well, but the NDC says they like some of your ideas, they will keep them. So why should we give you the nod then?
Why should they give the NDC the nod when
because they said they're going to be keeping some of the good things you mentioned.
This is one thing
that they're going to make it better.
Ghanaians are so wise and they know what they want. The thing is that you have a political party who belongs to a socialist political party, and a political party who is property owning democracy came out with a brilliant idea that a lot of Ghanaian youth are going to go to school for free. They sponsored 22 adverts against free SHS. That free SHS is 419. In fact, the flag bearer at that time, John Mahama, said it's impossible. It's a desperate politician who will come out to implement free SHS. The General Secretary of the NDC came out to say that where are we going to get the money? Leo Kran, the Minister of Education at that time, said we can't simply do it. Fifi Kwete, and then the current General Secretary of the party was saying that it's a 419. Free SHS is all lie be lie, and it's not true that we are going to implement it. Today, free SHS is working, and you turn around to say that when you come, you
it better,
in fact, John Mahama is even saying that if he has $200 million or 200 million, he won't push it in free SHS. It means that he doesn't even have faith in free SHS. So what we are saying is that all these policies that we put out there, the ordinary Ghanaian have faith in the MPP. Today, when you go anywhere, you can't do anything in Ghana without Ghana card. NDC has been in power for over 19 years in the history of Ghanaian politics. More than that, 30-something years in Ghanaian politics. They couldn't even give us a true identity as a Ghanaian. True identity. Today, Giovani, you have a Ghana card. Go to the bank and go and see, bring your ID, and you go there and you don't have a Ghana card if you can do anything in this country. But this is what we are talking about, social intervention policies that affects the livelihood of the ordinary Ghanaian people. Right. Today, you can move money from your bank account and put it in Momo and give it to your mama somewhere, or your sister, or your alum, or your sister alum, or any alum can send you something to do something for her, and this through the account you can do that. And it's one of those things that NPP as an administration we've done a lot in terms of infrastructure, roads, unprecedented in the history of this country.
Roads?
Yes, in the history of this country. Go and check. Go to Ajengano today. From Ajengano, Zoom Lions Race, linking to the motorway. Go and see the three lanes that we've done there. Go to Yamransa, Bogosode, Bababisi, Kumase. Go and see the road, first class road there. Today we're building a road from Cape Coast, Yamransa, out to Takoradi, all the way down there. We are building a dual carriage from Kumase, Ashanti region, to link Greater Accra. Go to Pokuasi and go and see what is we doing there. Interchanges that we've done in Accra and other parts of the country. Tamale interchanges. Unprecedented. I didn't bring my records. If we were going to talk about serious politics, I would have brought the records.
I know. And I promised you we were not going to talk about that.
And so I would dare anybody in the history, all records, in terms of healthcare, infrastructure, economy, anywhere, NDC cannot meet us.
All right.
In anywhere, because John Mahama ended the economy with 3.5 to GDP. And MPP are worse after COVID and all that. We are higher in managing the Ghanaian economy, GDP, than John Mahama.
But a dollar is still
today.
Well,
of course, John Mahama, when Kufuor left the economy, the dollar was 1-to-1. What happened to John Mahama and Mills when they took over?
But that's
what I'm saying.
You were voted to take
there
over
were
from
no
them.
COVID. There were no COVID. The crude oil price were not shot up to that level of $100 per barrel at that time. The crisis, the population size at that time, all these things come into play. But Kufuor was able to manage, the MPP government under Kufuor manage the dollar. So we're talking about track records in terms of who can manage the dollar It was the same Bawumia who was the deputy governor of Bank of Ghana who managed the Ghanaian cedi for $1 to $1, 1 cedi to $1. Is he not the same person who is now telling the Ghanaian people to give him a chance? So what is he was part of the team. So Obi Oware Krada and also Oberi Koto Obejine Giovani.
You mentioned in fact you promised no politics. You promised no politics today. But well, lots of messages coming with people asking us to activate the phone lines for them to call in. We'll see what we'll do about that. Let's go to Facebook. Where Agbeshi Daniel says, Giovani, ask him about the concrete roads and Kole Lagoon. These are promises your party made, so he wants clarification on what exactly happened to those promises.
Concrete roads at
it wasn't and the Kole Lagoon, the desilting of the Kole Lagoon. Yeah, and making it Krabeshe. Whatever happened
that one, I don't know anything about that, so I can't comment on that.
All right.
I don't really know anything about it.
Okay. This one says, hi, Giovani. That's my boss right there. He's a solid communicator. We're both in GIJ together. But let him admit that times are really tough for everyone.
Of course, I've said it here.
He said it.
I've said it. Show, maybe he wasn't listening. What's the name? Nana.
Sorry, let me get a full.
I've apologized on behalf of the party to the Ghanaian people that it's not the making of the MPP everywhere in the world, but we apologize for that, and there's a better days ahead of us.
All right.
And we've said that. I've said it here.
So Nimali says, Giovani, please, his take on Galamsey and the effects on water bodies. It's become a topical issue again.
Yes, of course.
Your take on that?
The first time, ask yourself, Giovani, the first time Champagne came to Ghana was between 2013 to 2015 under the able watch of John Dramani Mahama. Champagne na yedi say river ensuo na esiso a China for the Ghana. First time I be Ghana. Ebebe say river bodies was under the leadership of John Dramani Mahama. Everybody should go and check. Aisha One, she came into this country and institutionalized Galamsey under John Dramani Mahama.
Yeah, but you would admit that this is why they were kicked out of office.
You can. It's becoming like a cabal, a dangerous cabal that you cannot, as a leader, go out there and face it head on. We need the entire nation, chiefs, traditional authorities, politicians, clergy, you, the media, and everybody must come into being, and let's deal with Galamsey head on. It's beyond politics. The way you see things, Giovani, it's not easy. The way you see it can't take a Kufuor's government to come out there and deal with Galamsey as people think it is, because it started from somewhere.
Yes, but it's also because he made a lot of. He's taking the fight against Galamsey as a very personal thing.
Yes, of course.
And he's been quoted on many platforms to be the one who says he was going to end it.
Yes.
And almost getting to the end of his era as president, and we've not seen the end to that. It's worsened.
That is what I'm saying.
People have the right to ask what is happening.
It takes a bold leader to make an initiative, and it takes the citizens to collaborate to make sure Kufuor lives still in the Jubilee House. He cannot be in Ochimberry where somebody is using champagne, and when soldiers go there, then the chiefs and people will take backhand and they will tell him to go into the bush and start doing it. You cannot. We don't have that kind of sophisticated thing to deal with that. But the willpower is there. Yes, he has done his bit. We are not saying he has done 100%, but he has done his bit. And I think that most of the leaders who came into the Ghanaian politics who said that they will fight Galamsey, some of them even said that those people who are being jailed, the former president said that he will bring all of them up. Those who are doing Galamsey, that they have been prosecuted. When he gets power, which will never happen in the history of Ghana, that he will take them from prison to go and do Galamsey. You see what the NDC party communicators were telling the people in Galamsey. We lost all because of a Kufuor saying that you're going to fight Galamsey in 2020. We lost most of the Galamsey areas, the mining areas in the country. Most of them, we lost all because people were ready to lie their way through politics, to lie to people that Galamsey is good because of political expediency. And that's what is happening in this country. We must call a spade a spade. So Kufuor failed because people who know what is right for this country use it because of political power that they want. NDC went out there, including their flag bearer.
So this is the thing. I'm struggling to understand why you would admit that the president has failed the fight against Galamsey and then still find a way of bringing the opposition in.
We don't live in an island.
The opposition is powerless at this moment.
It's not powerless.
The opposition is powerless.
We live in a society where people live in a society too.
Okay.
You understand? They can use the system to work against you if they want to.
Okay.
Imagine we are going into an election.
So you're blaming
the president is fighting Galamsey. Then you have political activists, deputy political communicators, former ministers of the NDC, including the flag bearer, going into the electorate, telling them that Galamsey is good. Free prison. The psyche of the ordinary people and how they think. Do you think that fighting it collectively would have achieved a better result than getting some people, because of their own political whims and caprices, what they want to achieve, they want to go out there and think that they can use that to suit their own political agenda? And that's also one of the areas that you need to look at, because in all a proper civilized democracy, when it comes to national interest, the opposition and the party in government work together to achieve that. You can't see that in America, that somebody's President Kamala Harris says something about maybe the river bodies in Mississippi, somebody's destroying it, and then you hear what's his name, Donald Trump coming out to say that, oh, when we come, we will help you destroy it. It will never happen like that. National interest is key.
We will definitely talk about your space, your sector in a bit. We have 15 more minutes to wrap it all up, but we can't finish our conversation without touching on our $400 million states-funded National Cathedral spot. I mean, it's become like a dark spot on your party. What are you, as a communicator, what are you telling your people? What are you telling people who ask you?
There comes a time in Ghanaian politics that we have a president who believes in the God Almighty, and he had a covenant with the Almighty, the faith that he believes in, that if he's given the nod, he will build a cathedral to glorify God. It is not going to come from the public purse or something, but he will use your own initiative to support, to build that. That is the genesis of the whole thing.
Okay.
And he started doing it, and maybe it became a media frenzy, and some of them started attacking it. It became something of a human nature, and the whole agenda of achieving that didn't materialize the way he wanted it. But God in heaven knows that he made an effort.
And who is to be blamed? Because this is a personal mission to God.
The point is that,
and if the person is veered off that, that initial claim of not using state funds for that, and now we are getting to learn that the state fund was involved. We're hearing a lot of other stories around that. Then,
but the point,
is that not a foundation built on
is that Giovani, the whole idea is very important. If you're a religious person and you believe in something that God has touched you and you feel like you want to do to help society, and then one way or the other, Bible saying if this thing happened and it didn't materialize, I mean, we leave that for posterity to judge. It's not who are we.
It's going to take a lot more money to fill up that gaping hole, that massive hole there.
It's not something that I think that God being so good. I think that when a new leadership take the shape in this country, or take Baumia's leadership, I think that we will take a critical look at it and deal with this matter.
How?
And then build a cathedral that
Dr.
will benefit.
Baumia will finish the cathedral
of course, he will look at that, and I think he will deal with that.
How did the president's personal goal become a Dr. Baumia project then?
No, it's not a president personal goal, as you say, but it's something that we Ghanaian, the entire nation, it's going to help boost tourism in this country. It's going to help employ a lot of Ghanaians. It's going to do a lot of changes. It's going to create a lot of things for us. So it's not about Baumia, Kufuado matter, but it's about the entire nation, creating of job, creation of bringing revenue into this country, and also boosting tourism. So I think that looking at it from that angle, you look at it holistically before you can address the matter from that on. So we are not saying that it's a failure, and I will not admit that it's a failure. It's his personal view and his personal heart covenant with God, and he wanted to achieve that through him as a president to see that this thing happened. And it's on course, and there's something that maybe there are some roadblocks on the way that couldn't make it materialize on time. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen.
Giovani, now down to the energy sector where you rightly placed as well. So as someone deeply involved in the energy sector, how does your current manifesto, your president's, your running mate's manifesto propose to advance Ghana's energy, self-sufficiency and
well, straight on,
the challenges
I think Dr. Bawumia has made it clear to every Ghanaian that, producing power from Akosombo, you saw that we're now at the moment producing about 900 megawatts of electricity from Akosombo. Atuabo, Sankofa, and then, the other one combined is giving us almost about 12,000 megawatts or so, plus WAPCO and the rest coming together with the car power 400. It's not enough. So we have, even though we have enough, it's not enough, because looking at the population size and the increase and the demand for electricity and all that, we are shifting into solar power. Dr. Bawumia feels that he needs the country to move into solar power, where he's going to build a lot of solar panels that is going to benefit at a cheaper cost for the ordinary Ghanaian to benefit, to add it to the national grid. And this is a new strategy that is going to work to boost up the energy sector and make sure that the energy sector. So we are going to focus our agenda more on solar power generation to support the national grid.
And it's one of your key things.
Yes. He said it boldly. That is very, very key and very cheap and affordable for the ordinary Ghanaian.
All right. Top 2 areas. Well, we can make that 5. Your party will tackle if the nod is given to Dr. Bawumia in their first 4 years?
For top 2 areas, to fight corruption, using digitalization to fight corruption, and making sure that we train the ordinary Ghanaian, because the paradigm shift is about digitalization. And it's key that average Ghanaian, almost about 1.2 million, will be trained into learning on digital space and taking them and employing them and taking them into a new level, where the ordinary Ghanaian has free access to free education, moving into the university and training the child to become properly digitally educated in terms of where they want to go. And that it will help them into a new world. Today, in the new world order, if you know something about oil and gas, digitalization, or you are into IT, that is where the money is. And Dr. Bawumia, as a visionary leader, sees that paradigm shift as a key area to tap. And that is where we are shifting our agenda to. Number 2 is about food sufficiency. Food sufficiency and livelihood of the ordinary Ghanaian. The manifesto talks about reducing import duty at a flat rate to determine projections in budgeting for businesses and other ordinary Ghanaian. When you go to the port every day, yes, you duty kosro na the asemoba. We want to make the duty
import heavy economy.
Yes, we are reducing that flat rate, that of Togo, so that everybody will have free to businessmen to plan ahead and make sure that everything goes on well. And then I think one of the bold areas that we need, if you want to tackle the economy, that's where you look at. Another issue is about gold for oil. We are going to make sure that gold for oil is used to reduce the dollar, increasing in the ups and downs of the dollar. And we will do it boldly to make sure that all these things are done, and also to make sure that we improve the quality of free education, and also make sure that we push it more and make sure that free SHS is there for the ordinary Ghanaian to benefit, and also go into agriculture and massive infrastructure development as well. Under Bawumia's government, we will make sure that massive infrastructure is improved in terms of building roads, capacity. You've seen the new initiative that he's done. His own initiative without parliament, bringing in the excavators, the payloaders, and every district has got it now. Now, if you are in KJB and you have a bad road there, the DC can bring the payloader and they can just do the road for you. He can grade the place for you without asphalt, and it can be more trouble. And these are initiatives that are bold solutions to the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. Right. And these are some of the things that we are going to do.
All right, Ernest Owusu-Bempah Bonsu, we'll take just 2 calls for you if you don't mind. Will that work?
Yes.
So 0559 242 717, 0559 242 717, and 0556 910 154, 0559 242 717, and 0556 910 154. And if you don't mind, you can use the headsets right in front of you.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 3FM Drive.
Good afternoon, Giovani.
Yes, boss.
I want to ask the man over there.
Please, Mr. Ernest Owusu-Bempah Bonsu.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
All the bad things he mentioned about John Mahamir's administration is the main reason why we kick them out of office. And that same thing is happening times 2 under this administration. So we are going to kick them out of office coming December. Thank you.
All right. Your question?
I think that's what he says.
Okay.
He's passing a comment.
All right. Okay.
You can obviously see that he's an NDC.
You can add. You can, and of course we bring NDC people here.
Yeah.
We bring all political parties here. So once you express yourself, feel free to ask a question.
I think he will have a change of mind because he has a relative who has benefited from the free SHS, and definitely he will have a change of mind.
You believe in that?
Yes, of course.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I'm calling from Nungwa.
All right. The name.
And I have a question for him.
Okay.
So he was saying something about Adjegano Road being 3-laned and whatever. I use that road almost every day, and I'm asking, what 3 road is he talking about?
Have you been to School Junction? From School Junction all the way to connect you to the motorway.
Is halfway tired.
My brother, I think you haven't been there recently, so Giovani, go there and check yourself.
So remember when we had the African Games?
Yes.
The road that leads from School Junction to the motorway into Santor, some parts of Santor, and it connects to some portions of Ashaimer as well. And that's the one he's talking about.
Unless that one.
Oh, okay. So you mean that Dringano one is still not that? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Now at least now you get the road he's talking about. Hello,
Giovani.
Senior.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, boss.
This is Israel.
Talk to me, my brother.
See, the plenty things that he's saying that I have that done. We vote them out, then they come. And they repeated that times 3 times 4. And he's not coming to tell us that we are doing this, we are coming to do this. His boss already let us know that if you do everything today, he can't do anything tomorrow. And we don't even expect him to win. That man, if you win today, Ghana will collapse because they are already collapsing.
Hey, Ghana will collapse. Do you have a Ghana card in your pocket? No, do you have Ghana card in your pocket?
Okay, the Ghana card.
Do you have Ghana card in your pocket? This is a simple question. No, I'm saying, do you have Ghana card in your pocket? Yes. So if you have Ghana card in your pocket, you're saying Ghana will be a disaster. And this is a handiwork of a man that you are saying that you will bring disaster into this country.
Our foot are on his.
So the man says he has Ghana card by coming or Okay. So let him explain the part. I think he has a point there. Yeah, I have Ghana card, but I'm hungry. I'm an average Ghanaian. I want answers. I want to have a better life.
Giovani, in Europe, I've lived in London during my youthful days.
That's right.
You can never live in England and get £1 to eat if you don't work or you don't move about to do something to benefit. Even in advanced democracies. So what are we talking about?
Are you calling
we're creating the systems in place for you to benefit. We've given you free education to go to school for free.
But where are the jobs?
The universities, of course, we've created almost about 2.5 million jobs.
Where are they?
Where are they?
People are asking. I mean, these are questions. I mean,
asking,
you're a young man. When you're on social media, some of these things pop at you.
Where do they want to see? The private sector.
What the job did?
Where private sector. We created one district, one factory. You know the number of jobs that we created through one district, one factory? Go to my hometown in Asante Achim. When you get to Konongo, there's a steel factory there built by this government, initiated under one district, one factory, and youth are benefiting. They go to school. We have clerks there. We have people who are steel benders. We have people who are working there. And you are telling me that these are not jobs that we have created? You see, we cannot do anything 100% as a government, but we've done something. And that is where we are comparing to the previous government that we have Unemployed Graduates Association today. When you go into the mainstream, even I can use Ghana Gas as an example. When we came, the workforce within the Ghana Gas company itself, the workforce within the personnel who are working there, and compared to the average employee that we've employed within the last 7 years, it's absolutely something that we can use to justify what we are talking about when you talk about employment, job creation for people who are come out of the university. A lot of engineers getting a job, enroll into the system, and then people are getting jobs. And you are saying that, we have a U-tab thing that we are doing where we give startup capital for entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs who are come out of the university to go and create their own thing. If you're a content creator, there's a lot going on.
Okay, let me get the last caller for you. Hello.
Good evening, Giovani.
Yes, sir. How are you? Welcome.
I'm fine.
Talk to Ernest Owusu-Bempah Bonsu.
All right. I think this man has been paid to talk just like that. Though I'm sorry for my words, but there is total hardship in the country. He should face reality. Ghana can not put food.
Were you listening? Were you
on our table?
He's admitted that times are hard.
Sir, were you listening from the beginning of the interview? Giovani asked me. Listen.
The average Ghanaian is suffering. Okay. You see, the youth is suffering. We Ghanaian youth, we are not lazy. We are hardworking youth, but where is the employment? There are most of the youth just hanging around, involving betting in Galamsey. Not that they find themselves happy in the Galamsey, but it's as a result of the unemployment issues in Ghana. So please, you should just stop talking.
Face reality. You should face realities. Okay.
Stop it.
All right, yo. Thank you.
Yes,
he's talking about realities again.
I was going to ask him what is his educational background. When youth of this country, most of them, when they come out of the university, they always expect the government to give them jobs. When you go to America, when you go to Britain, you talk about the guy who invented Facebook.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Did government created a job for him? Is it not digitalization that Baumia is talking about that has created something for millions of people to do today? We need to be innovative as a youth. We are creating the system for you.
But they need an enabling environment.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Enabling environment. That's what Baumia is talking about. Digitalize. And then today we told them that you can order food from a food park and they will bring it to you. And then you pay with your mobile money from your account, and all these systems are being put. But before Muhammad time, were you seeing these things there? It weren't there. Giovani, we have to be honest. We are putting the systems in place and making sure that, who told you that the advanced democracies that you're talking about, there is no jobs in Ghana here?
They have challenges.
They have challenges. And the private sector forms about 70% of job creation in America and Britain. Anywhere, Giovani, are there any youth to come and tell me when you go to New York, the hotels that are being built in New York that Ghanaian people are working and making the dollars and all that belongs to private sector.
All right.
So Baumia is telling us that he's going to create an enabling environment for the private sector to shine so that job will be created.
All right.
John Mahama couldn't do that. Monies were given to SADA for them to rear and confirm went to Burkina Faso. It didn't come back.
We have
so if
30 seconds to wrap it all up.
If I am non-fact,
final question.
Then
final question
I don't know
you
what it is.
Personally, though, what would you want to be remembered for?
Yeah, the bold young man.
As Ernest Owusu-Bempah.
Yes, I'm always blatant when it comes to what I say. I don't care who ox is God. I will say it as it and let the chip fall where they may. And that is what it has been me from my infancy to now. That has been me, and I've always been me. I can look into your face and tell you as it is, even if you're a president, and I'll tell you the truth. And that is me. Everybody who knows me, I've worked with two great leaders in this country, President Rawlings and President Akufo-Addo. You can ask them. I'll tell them as it is and let the chief fall where they may.
Right.
And everywhere I find myself is the same thing.
Right.
And I've always said that the truth will always set you free, and that has been me.
Thank you very much, Ernest Owusu-Bempah Bonsu, Deputy Communication Director of the NPP. If you don't mind, you can stay on and be the first headline with Alfred Okanse.
Hey, that's my friend. That's my old friend.
Stay in the studio.
That's my
Stay in the studio. Hot edition. Thank you.
Play my song for me. Play my song.
Which of them? That the Lumba King Paluka.
No. I said.